Hi, I'm Sarah Reynolds, the Crafty Economist. This is the first installment of my series, So, Tell Me About Your Research. This is a project where I take other people's economic production and turn it into a fun sewing craft for them to have. Then they can talk about their research with other people in daily life without it feeling too intimidating. I hope this helps people have conversations that they wouldn't normally have about their research with regular folks out and about. Today, I will be interviewing Jessica Leight, a senior research fellow in the Poverty, Gender, and Inclusion Unit of the International Food Policy Research Institute. Great. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Sarah. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. Okay, well, my first question for you is, what was your first experience with sewing? Either doing it yourself or remembering someone else do it.
Sure. My first experience with sewing was with my mom when I was maybe about 5 or 6. She was and is very talented at sewing, and she helped me make a little doll. I drew the outline of the doll's body, which then was totally lopsided with like one short, fat arm and one really long, skinny arm. And she helped me cut it out and sew it together. And then I drew on the face, and she sewed on yellow yarn as the hair, so it would look like my hair. And it was very, very sweet, and I still have it. I didn't inherit my mother's talent at sewing or other crafty skills. So as I got older, I didn't develop into doing my own independent projects, but that was the first sewing project that I really loved, and I still have it all.
Oh, that's wonderful. How nice. How nice. So now that you're older and crafting economics, how do you experience your economic research as art? Perhaps not with one lumpy side arm and one non-lumpy side, but as a more sophisticated crafter artist.
Right. So research has many, many different phases and many different facets, we could say. And some do not feel that artistic or are much more mechanical in a way. But I think the part of research that is most similar to a crafting or an artistic project is the final phase, where you're hoping to shape a story that can grab people's attention, that is intelligible, but also simple and easy to follow. So that part, that shaping, I think has very much the feeling of an artistic project, because you know the underlying story, but you're choosing what to highlight, what to bring out, and what to shift to the background.
Oh, very nice. Do you have a story from your research that you could share with us that would kind of uh, transition us into the research I'm highlighting in your book?
Sure. One of the projects highlighted in the book is a randomized trial in the field conducted in India that I worked on about 8 years ago now, 8 to 6 years ago, that focused on a school-based program that was designed to increase agency and enhance life skills of adolescent girls. So the goal was to make them more confident, have higher self-esteem, have higher ambitions, and also more engaged in school, so they would be less likely to drop out. And we found that it was effective. It was close to my heart because it was easy to see a lot of your younger self in the sample, even though it was very, completely different context. And the girls were, just in early adolescence, so they were very young, but it was fun to do a project where a field visit was going to a classroom that was full of teenage girls.
Oh, great. Great, thanks. So I have made for you a little craft highlighting your research, and it's geared toward your baby. So can you share with everyone what I made you and walk us through the
Yeah,
pages
so
here?
here's our baby book. It's worth noting, I was talking about this project in India. I often index my research projects to my kids, and I was working on that project while my eldest was born. He's 6 now. This is probably more for my youngest, who's almost 2. The cover says Economics by Maman.
Can you
My
hold it
kids,
up just a little? There you go.
yeah,
Yeah, perfect.
there you
Thanks.
go. Economics by Maman. The kids call me Maman because my husband speaks Farsi, and Maman is, of course, a loan word from French, is mom in Farsi. And so the first 2 pages This is actually a graph on the paper I was talking about, and each color shows a different dimension of girls' outcomes that we were measuring in that trial, their schooling outcomes, their life outcomes, and that's how we captured the effects. And on the other side, you can see a table from another one of my
I think that's a
projects.
collage of tables I
A
smashed
collage
on
of
top
tables,
of
yeah,
each other.
a multicolored collage of tables.
Yes.
These are two graphs. This is actually from the same project in India. This is from a more recent project we are still working on in Ethiopia that is focused on interventions to enhance child nutrition. And this graph actually shows the path of complementary feeding interventions in the first 1,000 days of life, which of course is still where my son is, my youngest, coming up to around day 700, the first 1,000 days being the first 3 years. Here are a couple of graphs from other projects I had done using secondary data. So when I didn't collect the data myself, this is a map of South Africa, if you can see it, and it's shaded to show differential exposure to trade policy changes that we were studying in South Africa. And this is a series of graphs from a paper I did on China, focused on understanding the effects of agricultural income shocks. And then we learned so much, and this is just a picture of a classroom, I believe in Mozambique, related to another recent project I did there.
Awesome. And I know from your smiles you like it. How did your baby like it?
He was really excited. He's a big book lover, and this definitely looked different from other books we have since we don't have very many fabric books. And I, leafed through the pages, and he liked the bright colors. And I had a chance to tell my older kids a little bit more about it, and they were excited as well.
Oh, that's great. I'm so glad. So, for the future of your research, what do you see moving forward for capturing the public interest? And along with that, how does the funding landscape look for your projects?
Right now is obviously a time of a lot of turmoil in the international development sector. So there was a huge shock with the dramatic shifts in US aid, and there have also been other announcements from other major donors about reductions in foreign aid commitments. I think there's still a lot of potential. There's a lot of actors in the space at all levels, donors, governments, non-governmental organizations. We're eager to continue working. That's true both on the program implementation side and on the research side. I think the challenge will be to explore how some programs that we know to be highly effective can be delivered at larger scale without the larger commitments that some of the biggest donors have made in the past. But from a research side, we know that there's still much to be learned. And if anything, understanding more about what interventions can be delivered cost effectively is more important than ever.
Absolutely. And if more people want to find out about your research, where should they look for you?
You can find me on LinkedIn or on Twitter and Blue Sky in all three locations, just using my first and last
Okay, which is right there in the
name.
caption,
Yes.
Jessica Litz. Awesome. Thanks. Have a
Thank you
great.
so much, Sarah, and thank you for the book. We love it.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye.